Alright, in this video we'll see how to create a meeting room booking plugin. So what do I mean by that? In this page you see these are the meeting rooms. Each meeting rooms has a description about the capacity that it can hold and the purpose. The purpose are going to be either it's meeting, the filter can be made or based on the meeting, or it's going to be a presentation. So two of them are from presentation. Now based on that, since we have seen how the purpose can also be filtered, if you want the category capacity to be 8 and click on filter, so both of them, which is 8, so this is capable of holding 8 people, this is capable of holding 6 people. Now if I make it 12, so you'll see this is capable of holding 10, this is capable of holding 12, this is capable of holding 8. So based on that, 12 and less than 12, the filter is made. If it is 10, 10 and less than 10, you'll see 10, 8 and 6. Cool. Now if suppose I want to book a meeting room which has a capability, let's say, of 8. So I have made less than 10 and this is the category of meeting. So let me book a slot. Let's say I want my meeting to take place on 12 to 1 p.m. and click on reserve. So now it will ask for the name and the phone number. So if I click on continue, it will say without the page getting refreshed, you will see the data would get saved and it says book reserved successful. Now the website visitor, the website admin would get a notification on the back end. If he clicks on the book reservation, you will find the notification that was made by the user Vishal. So the meeting room, the customer name Vishal has booked the time slot of 12 to 1 on the room with the name Vika meeting room, and this is the phone number that he has given while making an inquiry. So this is how the booking system work. What if they have one more room that needs to be added? So in that case they just need to click on add. So now you need to give the title, you need to give the capacity, you need to give the either it's going to be meeting or presentation. Let's pick the meeting, and I'm going to set the featured image. So I have already downloaded the feature image. We just need to attach the feature image by selecting the folder. So now it's taking some time to load. It's all in the sample photos and conference room, and then we have, let's add Orion and click on select feature image. Once it is done, you can see a custom archive page would get created. So this is the custom archive page, and in this custom archive page you will see all the added rooms. So Andromeda space has added with a capacity 8 and meeting of, and the purpose is meeting. And if you want to make it filter by meeting, it can be done. Multimate the filter by presentation, it can also be done, and based on the capacity that it can hold, we can make it work. Cool. Now I hope the way how the plugin works I have introduced. Now let's see what are the concepts that we are going to learn. First of all, we'll see how to create a custom post type and the meta box. Now the meeting room is actually a custom post type, and there is one more custom post type which is called meeting reservation. So I have added this custom post type to my meeting room custom post type. We'll see how to make this, and also the meta box. Each meeting room will have a meta box, the capacity and the room purpose. Once the room are added, you can get into the meeting rooms, and we have modified the list table. So that's the custom WP list table. By default, WordPress will give you title and publish date, and I have added featured image, I have added capacity, I have added purpose from the advanced custom field, or you can say meta boxes, and I made it display on this WP list table, so it looks feature rich. And similarly for the bookings, we will treat each reservation, each inquiry as a post type. So each inquiry as a post. So that's why I have made custom post type. This is a inquiry, and this inquiry is a post, and these are the meta fields of these particular posts. So when I say meta field or additional information to the post that gets stored on the WP post meta table. So when a post is created, the post would get saved in the post table, and additional information about this post gets stored in the WP post meta table, and we'll see how to work on it. Also the archive page. So this is the custom archive page. WordPress archive page usually won't look this good with all the features that we are currently making on this plugin, but when a post is added, when a room is added, you'll see it get populated on the archive page. So the archive page, that you can access it with the help of this URL. Once your plugin is active, you can see, look for this URL, and based on the URL, all the post type will get added with these filters. Cool. Enough with that. Now let's deactivate the working plugin so that we can create a plugin from scratch that will not conflict with our current plugin which we are about to create. For the first thing that we need to focus on is we need to create a new file. So that folder should be on the plugins folder. Since I have set up my WordPress locally, I need to create a new let's say rooms. So this is the folder name, and the file name should be same as the folder name. It's recommended, but you can have it. Now we need to pass the information like the plugin name, the description, the version, and the author in the form of PHP metadata. We need to pass them in the form of PHP comments. So UI monk meeting reservation, and the version and the author, and this is enough to make your plugin view on this particular link on this particular page. So now it's taking some time. Now you'll see the plugin name UI monk meeting will show up. So UI monk meeting will show up. So once I click on activate, I want a link on the sidebar. So that can be achieved with the help of post type, registering post type. So this registering post type function, we have to attach it with the hook called init. Let's do that. So I'm creating a post type. Let's name the post type as room, or let's say rooms, and this is the name that will be available on the sidebar. And I'm saying that I need an archive page so that each post that each rooms I'm creating, it should be on the archive page. And this is the icon, and by default it should have the title and thumbnail feature, and I am making it as the slug to be rooms. And this is enough to make your, once your plugin is active, we can see the sidebar with the text label called meeting rooms. Now meeting rooms are there. If I click on add post, you will see the title and thumbnail is there. This is the title and this is the thumbnail, where it's as a support. Now the additional meta box that need to be added. So to add additional meta box, what we need to do, we need to attach a hook called meta boxes, and this meta boxes will have a input field. Let's say we want the input field to be number, we want the input field to be text. And once this is done, we have to link our CPT, this is the ID of the CPT, to the meta box, and you will find the information of the meta box in the form of HTML. Now when I click on save, what happens is I want to save these field along with the post. So for that, what we do is we need a hook called save post, and this save post will have the handle. Let's say this is the handle hook. And I just want you to know one thing. All the information that is additional information to this post are stored into the WP post meta table. So WP post meta table stores in such a way that key and values there. We have a key, user defined key, and a value can be whatever we write in this input field. So that's why over here, if you see, this is key, and this whatever we write inside the HTML field will act as a value, and we are going to save it into the WP post meta with the help of function called update post meta. Since the table is called WP post meta, the function is created like post meta, and if you want to get the value from it, you just need to pass ID to it, and get post meta will retrieve the value and save it over here. Now that is enough. Also, we are sending it to the hook. So by default, WordPress will not save your post meta. We have to specifically mention the post meta column to add our value that we enter here to get stored. So let's add one, or let's say the capacity is 5. It's for meeting, and if you're setting the featured image, let's just choose from back. Click on publish. So once it got saved, you'll see the data still get retrieved, because when the data is saved, we have used now this for 10. Let's make this presentation, and setting the featured image which is in the media library, which is already present, and click on publish. So once you publish, you'll see all the added data will be in this URL. So this is a permalink. By default, WordPress will not identify. So if I get into the archive page, by default WordPress doesn't identify. It says 404 error, because we have created the URL. So created the URL in the CPT. So when we were registering the CPT, we were saying that our actually this is not the one, this is the one. We are saying that the slug should be rooms. So WordPress will not identify. So to identify our slug also and not to show 404 error, we need to write the URL. We need to let's say in WordPress term we call URL rewrite. So we can make the URL rewrite by changing the permalink. So when we change the permalink, what happens is WordPress rewrite the URL again and identifies whatever changes that are made on the URL. So we have made the rooms. So this is a WordPress default way of presenting archive. So what we need is we want before showing the archive page, I want you to look at one thing, which is the added post. The post that we have added doesn't have uh, very rich information on the WP list table. To make this work, what we have to do is we have to modify a function. So this function will just define the header. So we have to just make sure we are properly mentioning the ID for the CPT. So this is the ID for the CPT, and if I refresh, the header is set now. We want image, we want capacity, we want purpose. Now similar to what we have already done, we need to do one more thing that will retrieve the value from the post meta table. Let's do that. We'll be using switch case, and now you will see. So it is a switch case. If the thumbnail, we want this code to be executed. If this is capacity, we want to get the value from the get post meta, and similarly if it is purpose, we'll use a get post meta. Now the data would get populated. Now let's get into the permalink work. So we want the archive page to be custom made. So in that case, we'll check with the WordPress if the archive page, if you are showing archive page for rooms CPT, I want you to show my custom page. I'm saying to the WordPress saying that if the CPT is rooms, which is ID, if the CPT is rooms, then just show this PHP file, which is rooms. So let's create a new file. Before saving this, it was showing themes default. After saving this, you will see a blank empty template. So because WordPress is showing if this is the CPT, show this archive page. Now it's very clear and straightforward. What we need to do is we have to add the loop. Along with the loop, we want to make the page beautiful with the sidebar. Let's just do that. Here we just want to make sure that we are passing the rooms CPT data and everything else is similar. We just want to focus one thing. When someone selects the value and click on reserve, the data should get stored in the form of AJAX. That's what our major concern is. Everything else is jQuery. Now if someone clicks on the reserve button, what happens is a block of data gets created and will be sent through AJAX with the help of PHP superglobal variable post. Now when a request is sent through AJAX to the WordPress identifies which hook should handle this request. So that's the reason why we are placing the action. So this action is really important because this action block will be responsible for manipulating the request that we receive through AJAX. So now if you see, so this is the action WP underscore AJAX underscore the placeholder gets comment. Now we are using two functions. This two function are actually same function, but the hook is different. Only there is no private is there. So one is for the logged in user and one is for the non-logged in user. Both of them should have this feature. That's why we are adding it. So whatever data that we receive through AJAX, we are storing it to a PHP. We are storing it to a variable with the help of PHP superglobal variable, and we are creating a new CPT. As I already said, each inquiry will be treated as a post, and that post will have an additional information, and that additional information we will be getting it with the help of PHP superglobal variable. A new post is inserted. If a ID is found after insertion, based on the ID, we will be just creating the custom key, and the value are actually that we get from the PHP superglobal variable post, and that's it. Now what happens is when there is a submission, so before that we need to create a CPT, and that CPT we need to link it to this CPT. So how are we going to do that? We need to make sure this is the second CPT and the first CPT ID is rooms. And now we have a new CPT. This is a new CPT with the ID, and we are linking it with our old. So how are we linking it? So if I click on meeting rooms, you have to notice the slug. So this slug has to be passed as a value of show in menu. So once this is done, then WordPress identifies that this CPT is actually the new CPT. So we can just make reservation. So the label change into reservation. So this CPT got linked to this CPT with the help of this URL. So once that is set, now let's try sending some information as a website visitor. So book the slot 11 to 12 and with the name, click on confirm. So once this is done, you'll get a reservation booked successfully. Now if I click on the reservation, you will get the information who has actually booked. Now this information is not feature rich, so again, as we have already done, we need to make this feature rich. So we have already seen, we just need to mention the header first, and after the header we need to make use of so the header is set, we need to make use of the data of each rows. Now that will also be set. Now here in the archive page, there you need to notice one thing. So if I click on meeting, I want you to notice the URL. So the URL meeting is fast, so based on that WordPress will fetch the data. So you see, this is a get variable. Based on that, if the purpose is set, so based on that only the by default all the data will be retrieved with this, and we are filtering with the help of URL. If the URL is found, then make a filter of capacity or make a filter of purpose and store it into a variable called array called rooms. So this rooms has multiple posts, and that post will be displaying as an array, as a for loop with the help of for each. So that's how the flow works. I hope the scope of this video is done. Thank you so much for listening. Meet you tomorrow with a new plugin idea.